Guaranteed success is simple, not easy. If I were to ask you to tell me of a time when you had to make a difficult short-term decision and to get long-term gains, would you have a hard time coming up with an example? If you do, you're in good company. We have a hard time doing that as humans in general. We have a hard time giving up that easy to reach reward, um, to wait for something better down the road. And as our culture is evolving, we're moving even closer to a world of instant gratification and wanting things today and right now and right this minute. So training your brain to make those decisions, to delay the gratification, to make the short-term sacrifice is shouldn't be very hard, but it is. So let's talk about why. My name is Heather Dumas. I'm the owner of HD Transformations, and I drive those aiming for the top of their game to master success through fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle coaching. Our brains are so special. They have two very specific systems. System one is instantaneous. It's driven by instinct and stuff we've learned prior. And it makes emotional decisions, and they're automatic and mostly involuntary. And that one's the one that keeps us alive. It's in charge of how we react. If you think about slamming the brakes when someone pulls out in front of you, that's system one working. And system one is also where you give in to sugar or where you give up halfway through your workout. It's where you use your emotions to make your decisions. System number two is controlled by the prefrontal cortex, the front part of our brain. It's the brain's CEO. And it's activated when we do something new, something that doesn't come naturally to us, and requires conscious exertion, mental exertion. The decisions that we make in system two take time to consider. System two is in charge of making your plans and setting your goals. So when you're thinking of those fantastic goals, it's also where you convince yourself to consistently do what you're going to do what you say you're going to do, or follow through on your plans. We're not all born with strong skills in system two, but we can train our brains to use it more often. And once you understand that, then you can start to tune into which system is in control at any given moment, and you can hack in to your decision-making system and shift your decision just by shifting which system is in control. So things that you need to remember when you're writing short-term and long-term goals. When we're dieting, we often focus on the scale really intensely, and we weigh ourselves obsessively, and we stress over the changes being too small or too big or too slow. And when we focus on short-term gains or losses like that so intently, we lose sight of what's down the road and the big picture. And we can be tempted to do crazy things to try and see those short-term results, even though those crazy things won't lead to long-term results. An example is sitting in a sauna in a plastic suit to lose weight. You're going to lose weight. The scale will go down, but it's not going to stay that way. As soon as you rehydrate yourself, it's going to go right back up. So there are 4 reasons that we give in to those short-term gains or instant gratification. Number 1, we underrate the future rewards. Think about, have you ever tried to convince yourself that you really didn't want it anyway, and it wouldn't be that fun, or anything like that? That's system 2 trying to justify what you decided was system 1. So your second reason that you give in is our culture. Like I said, it absolutely encourages short-term thinking, and it's addicting. So once you start getting things happening quickly, and you start getting packages in 24 hours, and you start getting instant responses from people, then you no longer want to go back to waiting 4 days for that package or waiting a week to get the letter in the mail. And that makes you want to move that on into other parts of your life too. And it just becomes an addicting process. The third thing is we see our future selves as way more honorable than our present selves. New Year's resolutions, right? Next year, I am going to do this, or next week, I am going to do that, or on Monday, starting on Monday, I'm going to do this. We're really, really good at convincing ourselves that the you of next year has way more self-control than the you of today. And fourth, we know the right thing to do. We just have a hard time doing it. It's not that we don't know. It's just, we're just not executing. And oftentimes it's because you're overwhelmed with information. So take the diet industry, just diet without exercise. There are millions of books and millions of plans and millions of videos and podcasts and all these things. And it can be really overwhelming. And you just get exhausted, you get confused, you get frustrated, and you just throw your hands up and go, forget it. I'm not even going to try and make sense of it. So if you are in that position, you need to go back and either watch or listen to or read last week's blog when I talked about why you need a coach, because that's part of it. Okay, so 3 things to help you solve this problem. Number 1, you need to develop a self-awareness and an understanding of your emotions and recognize, is it system 1 or system 2 that's in charge right now? Second, you need to create some space in your day for reflection and setting your priorities. I created 2 planners specifically for that, one in the evening and one in the morning, because I feel like planning is the key to success in every area of your life. And you have to sit still and quiet in order to be able to hear your thoughts and then focus them in the direction you want to go. And third, you need to create a simple vision with a set of foundational values that you can go back to over and over and over. That becomes your center of focus. That becomes your planning. And whenever you feel like you're not sure what to do, you go back and go, is this in line with my vision? Is this in line with my values? And if it's not, you know what to do. So now that you understand more that's what's happening between your ears, and you can take action to make it easier to make those short-term sacrifices to achieve long-term gains, here's how you hack your brain. You need to set goals with a long-term gain in mind. You need to develop an awareness of your thoughts and emotions. You need to create space and time in your life to be still and reflect. You need to stay true to your visions and your values. And then you need to repeat that over and over and over. It's time to get hacking in your brain and moving down the path of mastering your mind.